Dope. Let's do it. All right. Well, first off, everybody gets a song. So hold on.
Yay.
Eat it, Katie's on the show. Eat it, Katie's on the show. Eat it, Katie's on the show now. Katie's on the show. Katie Molinaro, holy moly. You're about to hear from her, world traveler, foodie, expert palate haver, very funny person, incredible comedian and actor. Oh my gosh, nothing more I could say from her. From the great city of Oakton, VA. There's a ton of oak there, but there's also one Katie Molinaro. Katie, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, Pita.
Absolutely, Katie. How you just went on a trip, right?
Yes.
You were just in Florida, actually.
Yes. Well, I was in Austin, and then my friend was like, "Do you want to go to Disney World?" And I was like, "Sure, let's go."
You can't ever say no to that. Who's ever said no to Disney World? It's almost like Vegas.
Oh yeah. Yeah. It is like Vegas. It's like the same price.
Yeah, exactly. You want to go? All right, let's do it. All right. Well, before we get into travel and fun stuff from Oakton, VA, I want to open up the first segment, which is plugs. And Katie, what can you drive all of the listeners to check out from you, and where can they find you on other corners of the internet?
So you can find me on TikTok at Eat It Katie. That is my main platform. I'm also going to be posting on YouTube once a week. I'm trying to get back into that. So just Eat It Katie across all platforms is where you can find me. And you'll find me at the Disneyland opening. Yeah.
What April 30th? Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, man. Yeah. So you're a huge Disney head, yeah?
I am.
Okay.
And I'm more of like a huge drinking and eating at Disney head.
Where does that, well, okay, before we get into that, I want to say that I first met you as like a comedian, and the food stuff that's kind of been like a newer thing, but obviously you've always loved Disney, you've always loved food. How did the Eat It Katie, how did that all come about?
So yeah, you remember the before times when we had to go to auditions? Remember those things? Remember when we had to drive to those?
Before the pandemic? Yeah.
Yeah. We had to like actually be in a room with people.
Yeah.
So I read in Tina Fey's book that
Bossy Pants?
Yeah, I read that after auditions she would get like sweet potato fries, and so she wouldn't think about the audition.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I'll just go get food so I don't think about the audition.
Yeah.
So if I was out like in Santa Monica, I'd go to Bay Cities, or if I was out just like whichever part of town I was in, I'd look up like what places I need to hit in that part of town. So I'd be like, oh, my time out here wasn't wasted. I didn't just waste a whole day driving to Santa Monica. Like I did something else.
Because sometimes a drive to Santa Monica could take 35 minutes to get there and an hour and a half to get back.
Yeah, it's your whole day.
Two interesting things about that. And so then you found yourself driving to different parts of the city to audition, but then exploring the food that was there. And then you kind of expanded to the country, because you just, like you mentioned, you'd just been in Austin and you were like trying different foods and fun stuff like that, right?
Yeah, I mean, how am I going to get a taste of what's around if I just stay around here? I mean, traveling during a pandemic is obviously frowned upon.
Sure.
But I am vaccinated, and when I did travel, I wasn't like around other people.
Yeah.
But like go to fast food places and like sit in my car.
Yeah. Well, that's like what I do. I'll get I haven't been in a Taco Bell in a few years. Not since they had the old school, like flashy colors.
Oh yeah.
In a while, but that a lot of those still exist in Florida, the old school bright colored 90s versions of Taco Bells. Very funny. What's actually interesting is I would go to Santa Monica as well. And this is like the Florida side of me. For auditions, I would go to Santa Monica, and I knew that drive would be like an hour back to the east side. So I would go to Bay Cities, get the Godmother, and then they sell beers by the, by the single. So on my way back, the 10 freeway is a parking lot. So I would have a Godmother, as slippery as, and fun as it is to eat. And then I would roll all my windows down and just casually kick one leg out and then, sip a beer on my drive back. So I'm with you full on about making the best of every experience. That's incredible. And then it just kind of took off from there for you, right? The Eat It Katie stuff.
Yeah. I mean, you saw me in the line at Howlin' Ray's once.
That's
I've always
right.
been a food chaser, it's soothing to like chase food, to like have a thing to focus on.
Yeah. I saw you in line. You were with your mom, right? She was visiting you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. Well, very cool, dude. That's awesome. All right. And so for travel wise, what's this is kind of like a travel podcast. So
yeah,
as of late, there's a lot of, what's interesting is about 2 years ago, I was at Austin Sketch Fest, and there's so many people there. I'd say it's a cool town, but a lot of people there were really eager to learn more about Los Angeles and move to Los Angeles. Now, in the midst of the pandemic, I can feel a lot of people moving to Austin for some reason.
Yeah.
When you traveled there and when you traveled to like other places outside of Los Angeles, what was the vibe there? And were there any very notable foods that you wanted to share that are, must-haves for people listening?
Well, okay. So I've noticed since being outside of LA during the pandemic that the food everywhere else just tastes so much better.
Really? Okay.
So what I've noticed when a lot of these restaurants, like you weren't able to dine in anymore, and I was just ordering delivery from these places, I realized the food wasn't that great. It was all about the ambiance.
In Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles, yeah.
Okay, I'm so glad you said this, yeah.
So like I ordered from a very notable Italian restaurant. I'm not going to say what it is, but
Sure.
The ambiance is amazing. You go for the celebrity spotting and all that stuff. And then I ordered to go and it was just like trash. But I noticed when I go to like places like Austin or Dallas or even places in Florida, like the food is good and it doesn't even have to try to be good.
Right.
Like the outside could look like shit. The like it's a hole in the wall. $8 for a plate.
Oh,
they're not trying to impress anyone.
We'll have to talk later because there's this new banh mi place that just opened up next to me, and it's one of the rare places in Los Angeles where you can get a sandwich under $15. It's like $7 for a banh mi. So
that's still so much for a banh mi. This banh mi should be like $3. The ones.
But here's the thing, I'm with you 100%, and I think you hit the nail on the head. A thing about Los Angeles, I might even say so about New York, is the ambiance. And I don't know if that's what I'm paying for, and it's worth it for that, or if I'm being tricked. Because what are you going to a restaurant for? It comes down to like what you're going there for. Are you going just for the food, or are you going for the company? Are you going for the status, for the Instagram photo? It's all that all factors in. But I've noticed, and what's interesting is during the pandemic, we mentioned Howlin' Ray's. I was working at Howlin' Ray's last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I was working the door. I was the door guy. If for the parties that we were doing in the back. No, for like handing off to customers and stuff like that.
Yeah. And
not only there, but other places that I'd worked. I was just say like there, and then Uncle Paulie's deli last year where I worked. It became more clear to me that without other things to do in Los Angeles, people are unmotivated to do their day job. and I'm talking about myself and, you know, other people that I was working with, just because I feel like everybody, a lot of people that are working in restaurants, a lot, not all, it's kind of like their secondary job in LA, you know, and without their career or their passion or their any activities to look forward to, it's just kind of like miserable, right? Have you seen that too?
Yeah, I mean, if I didn't have TikTok, that's where like I don't know what I would be doing because
TikTok saved your life.
TikTok saved me.
Shit.
Like when everything was shut down, I knew that I could still make videos in my living room.
Yeah. Oh, and you're as entertaining as ever, let me say.
Well,
So
thank you.
when people check out these plugs, the TikTok, the YouTube, the Instagram, they will be pleasantly entertained. Now, you weren't always a globe-trotting food goer. Do you like the term foodie, by the way, or is that?
I do. Like, I don't
Yeah.
mind it. People are like, "Oh, I hate the term foodie." Like, no, I get very picky about food.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Do you get mad if you're in let's just say you're visiting New York
Yeah.
and then someone's like, "Let's get tacos." You go, "No, fuck no. Why would I get tacos? I'm in New York. I want pizza."
You know what? There was a time that I would have been like, come on. Well, and let me say, if I'm in New York for 4 days, every day I'm having at least 2 bagels. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I totally subscribe to your lifestyle of like, if you're there, eat what's there. But also now I'm thinking, if someone's gonna here's the thing, if someone's gonna suggest we get tacos, then and they know of a good taco place, then I'm gonna trust them. But
Fair.
But I do get your point that, like, you know, I go for the regional stuff.
Let's go to Sbarro.
Oh, okay. I mean, no.
Let's go to the Sbarro in Times Square.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. On the way there, we can go to an American Eagle, and I can pick up some cargo pants. Yeah, sure. But so you're saying that, yeah, you wouldn't necessarily.
I don't know how I got off on that, but I was like,
you wouldn't necessarily go for tacos in New York.
No.
But, you know, right. You do what are the New York stuff? The pizza, the bagels. What else? Italian food, great Italian food in New York.
Yeah. Or like if I'm in Austin, I want to have breakfast tacos and barbecue.
Yes.
I don't want to have sushi and ramen.
That's more of LA Sawtell district.
Yeah. Yeah. Time
Yeah.
and a place.
You know what? I'm with you, because I once had, what was it? I was once dating this girl, and she was like, we went to this place that was like a burger place, and she's like, maybe I should get the it was something like, she's like, oh, maybe I should get the fish sandwich. And I had just read Anthony Bourdain's book, Kitchen Confidential, and I was like, oh, this is the burger place. Like, you go there for the burger, dude. You know?
You don't go there for the fish sandwich. Like,
yeah, it was only available because it was Lent, and like, you know, come on, give me a break.
That's the best part about traveling for me. Like, when else am I going to have a really great deep dish pizza? If I'm not in if I'm in Chicago, I'm going to have deep dish pizza, or I'm going to have Portillo's.
Yes, love Portillo's. Heck yeah. Oh man. Well, great. Well, okay. Well, yeah, you weren't always the globe-trotting foodie that you are these days. You are. But
now I globe-trot.
You trot. You don't even just globe-trot. You're trotting everywhere.
I'm thinking about the next trip. I'm like, all right, where am I going to go?
You're
After
tripping.
The Disneyland opening. Where am I going?
She's tripping. She's trotting. She's scooting. She's eating. She's drinking. She's partying. But you
water.
Water. Part of your growing up happened in Oakton, VA.
Yes.
Now, what's Oakton, VA? Where is it close to like Charlottesville? Like, you know, what's happening in VA?
So Northern Virginia, it's closer to like Arlington, Alexandria, like right on the border of DC, like 20 minutes outside.
Got it.
It is if you're rich, you have a horse. So my family was not rich. We were well off, but we didn't have a horse, so we weren't like
You were denied from that exclusive horse club.
Yeah, we were not the horse people.
There's like a country club with just horses, and you just pull up and park your horse, and there's no room for cars.
Yeah, it was just really weird, like the how they cut off like different levels of wealth over there.
Yeah, it did it seem as clear cut as it does in our adult lives, like the classes, like growing up, where you like, oh, I can't go in there because I don't have a pony, or what was that aware? Were you aware of that as a kid or no?
I don't know if I was super aware of it. I just knew like some of my friends had ice skating rinks in their houses, or like some of my friends had indoor pools, and I would be like, what?
Okay, we all
And I'd
go
be
to the
like,
same school.
Mom, why don't we have that? My parents would be like, well, because that's
Because that's
what's his name?
extravagant.
What it was like some newscaster's daughter.
Hmm.
Whatever.
Matt Lauer,
No.
Brian Williams, Allison. We're talking
No.
Allison Williams here. Peter Pan.
No, not them. I forgot.
It's probably better.
It
Probably
is
better.
better. It's better if you don't know. But yeah, so that's like the kind of area I grew up in. Like,
Mhm.
I guess I never knew how well, like, my parents never really talked about money.
Yeah.
I just knew that I had friends that had ice skating rinks and I didn't. So I was pretty pissed about that.
I think that's. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You could have
As
been.
I should have been. I should
Yeah.
have been pissed.
Damn, your parents just didn't love you enough. Is basically what it comes down to. If
Like, you couldn't just take it one step higher. You just couldn't.
You know what I think might be interesting. I want to hear your take on this, but wherever economically, I think if you grow up, if anybody grows up in like a very well-to-do house, not only in my experience are those kids brats and snobs, but they also don't have like a very good palate for experiencing and rating or talking about food. It's all just butter and cream. You know what I mean? Do you like growing up, like what were the types of things that you would get excited for? Like what type of meals would you get excited for growing up?
Oh, like my mom has always been a really good cook, and I really loved Indian food. I loved getting Indian food and Thai food, and
Wow.
so, and my mom could cook meals like that. I remember she used to make like some turkey curry thing that was really good.
Ooh.
And she would make stuff, and if I didn't like it, I'd still have to eat it.
Right.
My mom would just be like, well, we're not a restaurant, so this is what you get.
This is it. Yeah, exactly.
I'd be like, oh, okay.
Let me know if your mom would do this. I grew up with my grandparents and my mom in Florida, and by the way, there were no horses around, and there were no.
I see.
Yeah, exactly. You just slammed the door on me immediately. One, there were no horses. Two, no basements, and just a lot of sand and a lot of man-made canals.
Oh.
So just danger. Nowhere
no
to
basements.
escape.
I feel so bad for you.
I know. Yeah, I had to lose my virginity the old-fashioned way in a car.
Oh wow.
And so anyhow, my grandma, I don't know if my grandma would do the majority of the cooking, but she would, it kind of feels now like the vaccine in two doses, like, all right, well, the meatloaf's ready and the spinach is ready, but in 15 minutes, the macaroni and cheese and the mashed potatoes will be ready. So don't eat it while it's hot or, it'll get cold. And like, oh God, 15 minutes, we would just be waiting there for forever. And I'm just such a fast eater that my grandma would have a poor way of like timing these things. But so we would have like essentially dinner in two parts, and she was doing her best, and she made some great Italian dishes and some great macaroni and cheese. But was your mom more like, all right, everything's ready, the rolls are all set, everything's good to go?
Yeah, I was like, everything's ready at the same time.
Ugh.
and it was always the pretty, like, we were really spoiled because my mom was such a good cook. So when we went out, it had to be like really good food.
Yeah, what a luxury. That's so cool, dude.
Um, yeah.
You mentioned Thai food and Indian food. Were there a lot of Thai and Indian places in Oakton?
Yeah. We grew up so near the Falls Church area. Well, that was like a big Vietnamese area. And then in Fairfax, there were a lot of Thai restaurants and a lot of Indian restaurants just in Oakton and Vienna.
Nice.
I don't know why, just a lot of different. I even went back recently this past summer and I was like, wow, there are a lot of restaurants here and not a lot of chain restaurants.
That is very cool.
Not as many as I remembered growing up.
I do not know what that's like because Florida is like the chain restaurant capital of the world per capita. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, speaking of the places and the faces, we're one of my favorite segments. It's called Celebs in Town. Doo-doo-doo. And we like to talk about different people that grew up in your hometown that were considered celebrities, like fun people that everybody knew. Is there anyone that comes to mind when I mention that?
So there was this guy that we used to just call Santa Claus who lived in like this wooden house and it was always coming out with like a beard and overalls, and he had piles and piles of wood. So he was always chopping wood outside of the house. And so I was like, growing up, that is how I knew Santa was real.
Because you were looking at him?
Yeah. I was like, well, of course Santa is real because that's where he lives and that's him. And then one day, he just wasn't there anymore.
Oh, no. On Christmas Eve.
It was Christmas Eve. No, it wasn't actually Christmas Eve, but he just wasn't there anymore. And then I had to come to terms with the fact that like he was probably died because it was...
Oh my God. Most kids grow up with the trauma of losing a dog, but you had to experience and be comforted about death because of Virginia Santa.
Yeah, Virginia Santa was there.
So he would always be outside like chopping wood?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And he had the white beard and everything?
Yeah, he looked exactly like Santa. I was like, whoa, this is awesome.
Was this like a Sandlot thing where like you and your friends would like, oh, don't hit a ball over there? Were you scared of him or did you interact with him ever?
We were scared of him. Like it was scary because he was just kind of in the middle of nowhere. Like everyone else had little roads leading to their house. This guy had no road leading to his house. It was just like side of the road.
Because the reindeer could fly. He doesn't need roads.
No, he doesn't.
That's amazing. That's so.
But I believed in Santa for so long.
This is the part. This is the part where if you're listening with your kids, maybe ask them to leave the room.
I mean, I still believe in Santa.
The way that my family, no kids are listening. I hope not.
I have a lot of like my followers are children.
Oh, really? Is that
they're like
specifically?
7.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. Well,
they're not listening. Don't worry.
Okay, sure. How did your parents explain mall Santa to you? Because my parents were like, "Oh yeah, there's a real Santa," and then this guy here outside of the Hot Topic, he's one of Santa's elves, and he's just doing his work. How was that explained to you?
Oh, my mom would. Gosh, how did she explain it? I forgot. I think it was just like he has stand-ins or something. I think it was either he has stand-ins or like he's Santa, he's magic. He can be a lot of places.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, oh, I see.
Like a Luke Skywalker type of a thing.
Hyattsville, Maryland's calling.
Oh, okay. Should we pick it up?
No, I keep getting calls from
creditors.
Well, there was this woman, Amy, and she was trying to get a hold of this woman, Jamie. And I don't think she's figured it out yet that I'm not Jamie.
You can take it if you want. That'd be fun.
No, only if she leaves a voicemail again.
For about, oh goodness, for about a 6-year stretch, exactly 6 years, there was this kid. I would get calls from creditors because this kid that I grew up with, Jut.
Jut.
His name's Jut, Jutt, and his last name is Dare, Dare, but he pronounced it Dare. Interesting character, but he put me as a reference for his student loans and small business loans, and he never paid them. Like,
oh,
yeah, and he never paid them, and they were like, "Do you know where Jut Dare is?" And I would just laugh, and I would get calls for 6 years, just like, out of college, just about every other month. And word is that he didn't, I mean, he was my friend, he put me down as a reference. Word is that he didn't have to pay anything back. The debt accumulated so much that they just forgave it, and he had to pay like a significantly smaller amount.
yeah. There was a while where like Kaiser Permanente was calling me every month, and then eventually I just ignored it, and then nothing happened. So,
Oh, nice.
I think it was like $300, but I just didn't want to pay it. And then
Yeah.
I think they were just like, "Oh, I guess she won't pay it." So
You gotta go one way or the other. You gotta either be incredibly apologetic and then pay it, or like you're playing cards, you shoot the moon, you try and get the highest, rack up that interest as high as it can be until it's ridiculous. Then
yeah.
you're like, hey, listen, bank or hospital, I'm not paying this. What can I do?
No.
What are they gonna do?
Is the hospital gonna shut down if I don't pay $300? I don't think so. The hospital's gonna be fine.
No, dang it. Well, you know what? I want to say this. I think Santa Claus is still alive. I just think he moved to a different house.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Thanks. I've been thinking about that for years.
I'm glad we can finally have some closure, close that door for you.
Thank you. Yeah, me too.
Well, speaking of Santa Claus, another segment I love to do is called Biggest Holiday. Boop. In Oakton, is there a holiday that everyone gets psyched up for, or is there like a regional holiday or like a festival that you guys do, or what's the biggest holiday in your hometown?
It's not my hometown, but we used to go every year to the Waterford Festival, which was in Waterford, Virginia, and it was like, we're gonna make a candle out of animal fat. We're like,
what? What is that?
Or like, we're gonna make kettle corn, let's knit. Here's a Civil War reenactment. Like, we'd watch like Civil War reenactments and stuff. That was a big thing in my town.
Civil War reenactments?
We love watching Civil War reenactments. People like are horny for it.
Okay, before we get into Waterford Fest and the hippie the hippie dippy granola action that's happening there, I need to know this. How does one that's not participating, just going to watch, how does one prepare and attend a Civil War reenactment?
Oh, you just, you just get ready to watch.
do you not? Okay, great.
I'm usually eating a lamb sausage, drinking a wine.
Yeah. But you don't, okay.
That's what I usually do before I watch it.
The equivalent for me going anywhere in Florida is we had the St. Andrew's Fair, and the way that I would prepare in my hometown, the way that I prepare is I would make sure I ate some food that was not going to come back up again, And I, for some reason in middle school, I would just put on extra cologne because I was like, I'm going to be outside.
Oh, yeah.
I want those girls to smell me.
They need to smell you.
I want to be smelling good. I forgot that you
grew up in Florida with Shane, right? With Shane Hartline?
Yeah, pretty much. You forgot that I grew up in Florida. The name of the podcast is Florida Verse. Everything I've talked about is from Florida. That macaroni and cheese that my grandma was making, she put NyQuil tablets in it so I would fall asleep afterwards.
No, because I
That's
I
Florida.
said I forgot because that clip of you on that morning show.
Right. Yeah. In Orlando, we did a bit where I peed my pants.
Yeah. Oh my God.
So yeah, that's how I'm preparing for like a fair. But okay, so you're just, I mean, you go to are there stands or are you just standing in are there bleachers or are you standing in the field?
You just walk by and like sometimes you watch like, you're usually just watching people in the medical tent, like tending to each other, like, oh.
Fake, yeah, they're fake wounds and
yeah,
stuff like that.
Eating hardtack and shit.
So, okay, so it's kind of like a Sleep No More type of a situation rather than a parade or a sporting event.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
you
there are all these,
like,
yeah.
Oh, go on.
No, but no, there are all these different scenes happening, and you get to walk through them.
Yeah.
Oh, see, I've never been. I had no clue.
Yeah, they'll just like reenact Civil War moments.
Oh no! Like what? Like what? Are there any shocking moments that happen there?
Just like loading a shotgun.
Got it. I'm picturing the battles. Is that?
Yeah,
happening?
they don't really. I think they're too big. I don't think they can handle a battle. It's more like prepping for battle.
The
aftermath of the battle. It's more the show. It's more the show.
Yeah. For some reason, when I think Civil War, my mind goes to North versus South, and it's a bloodbath, and they're fighting. So if I were to go to a Civil War reenactment before this conversation, I would expect essentially a rugby match with fake guns.
Yeah, I mean, they do fire rifles at each other, but it's fake rifles.
Yeah, I hope so.
And it's just like a bunch of smoke that comes out. So yeah, they do show the battle. Sorry, I'm not explaining this correctly.
But but you've been. You promise you've been. You're not making this up.
I've been.
But it's more of like when I say Sleep No More, it's like a experience that's happening everywhere, and you go around to these different scenes. So like you mentioned, you walk into a tent, a medic tent. You walk over to somebody making food or something. Like what are
so like imagine a giant field in front of you.
Yeah.
Like you're basically just watching from afar.
Okay.
Either a battle or like people making butter.
Yeah. Real butter, or is it real butter like the guns are real guns?
Sometimes it's real butter.
Oh, wow. Nice.
They do everything real. Like they have real gunpowder and everything. Just they don't put bullets inside.
I like that. And so yes, can you get close to these, or is there's just like different viewing areas?
You can get pretty close, but yeah, it's like different viewing areas. It is like a Sleep No More situation.
Nice. That's so fun. And do you get to talk to some of the people, or are they weird about that?
Well, you can talk to them, but they'll stay completely in character the whole time.
That is fun. Did you know anybody growing up that was like super into that? Or
yeah,
someone that acted in it?
I do. I know of a guy who actually moved to LA. And he wasn't like an actor or anything. He just really liked the Civil War.
LA is the best place for that.
I know.
I feel like every day I wake up, I feel like we're fighting a civil war. Am I right?
Every single day.
Every
second of my life.
Let's get back to Waterford Fest, which I am fascinated by. So we're talking animal fat candles.
Yeah.
We're talking.
Or
what
like
are we
whale
talking?
blubber or something. It was like some kind of animal fat.
Dream catchers. What's the scene there? Like, paint the picture for me.
A lot of old colonial houses,
Yeah.
a lot of sheep grazing in the fields, but they also serve lamb sausage everywhere. So it's like you're watching what you're about to eat.
Would you be? Oh, yeah. You're looking at the lambs, and you're like, oh, I want a piece of that.
I know. Yeah, they have that. They have like, it's been so long since I've been. They have kettle corn. They've got like cider, a lot of American flags.
Okay. Of all eras, I imagine, or just
Yeah.
the most up to date. Okay, got it.
Yeah, they're very much into America, very much into like lavender,
Oh, the color or the scent?
essential oils,
Oh, yeah, that's good. The color lavender or the scent of lavender?
the scent,
Oh,
a lot
yeah.
of beeswax.
Okay. And so Waterford Festival, it's just like a kind of like a hippy dippy chill festival, or like what brings people there? I mean, there's all these fun activities.
It's just crafts.
Yeah. Oh, neat.
It's just crafts and like people who love the Civil War.
Yeah. VA sounds like a fun
There's
place.
also music, like like there's like people playing guitar, but folk songs.
Oh, that's fun. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, are there a lot of like concert venues and stuff like that in these area parts of Virginia, like Northern Virginia, or do bands get really hyped up, like the folksy bands, to play Waterford Festival because it's such a big deal?
Oh, there's lots of places to perform in Virginia.
Awesome.
Like I used to like Better Than Ezra used to perform at our fair at the Fairfax Fair every year.
Wow. Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was a big deal. I think they're from Virginia.
Oh, yeah, they might be. That sounds cool. One of my favorite Norm Macdonald jokes is the number one band of the year this year was Better Than Ezra. The number two, the number two band, Ezra.
I know, I love that one.
That's cool. So yeah, but the Waterford Fest, would that be something you guys would look forward to, like, or would it like sneak up on you?
I always loved it. It was every September. So my birthday is at the end of September. So
Mhm.
I would be pretty pumped about that every September. And then the Fairfax Fair was every July, I believe. June or July.
And the Fairfax Fair that involved did either of those involve Civil War reenactments?
Just the Waterford Fair
Oh,
involved
okay.
the Civil War. Oakton itself didn't have any festivals. It would be like the surrounding areas. There was a
Fun.
Vienna Fair, Fairfax Fair,
All these fairs.
a lot of fairs.
Did you retain a lot of that history? Like, do you like? Obviously, you go to these things and they teach you stuff, but are there any interesting facts that you remember from childhood just randomly?
Um, no.
we in Florida, in my hometown, there was the Edison and Ford estates, and we would go there for class trips, and it's just a interesting part of history where the people of the estate would curate Edison's garage or and his home to show like, oh, this is where he created this is where he invented this. And my number one memory was getting off the bus and then having one of my teachers walk through and basically attempt to delegitimize the whole Edison Edison home. He's like, he never lived here, and he was saying it loud enough where the tour guide was getting upset.
Oh no.
I know. This guy was a total. He had something else going on there for him, but he somehow was allowed to be a teacher. He was like, yeah, Edison never lived here. He spent maybe 2 weeks here a year, if that. Him and Ford. Him and Ford would get pissed drunk down the street. We can go to that bar when you're older. I'm like, oh my God, dude, what? You're traumatizing me. So yeah, that's a bit of that history. but I mean, it must have been exciting at the time. And it sounds like the lamb sausage really had an impactful effect on you.
Yeah, I mean, I was the first time I was ever watching what I was eating at the same time.
Did you wonder like what part of this what part of the lamb am I eating?
Not really.
Yeah.
I think it was just so good. It was so good. That lamb sausage was so fire. I miss fairs like that. Like we don't have like the closest we have is that Ren Fair, but it's awful.
Oh, the medieval times thing?
Well, no, medieval times is like great on its own, but like the Irwindale Ren Fair.
Yeah.
The Pleasure Fair.
Oh, yeah, I'm not I get weird when I hear the word pleasure used in things.
Yeah.
To me, pleasure is like the word moist.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need that in my life.
Seems like you remember the food that you ate at places more than the things that you did or the the friends that you made along the way.
Yeah.
The friends you made along the way was really the lamb sausage all along.
I really always remember the food. Everything else is just like whatever.
All right, great. Well, let's get into our last segment. One last thing, one good thing. You mentioned how great the Thai and Indian food is in Oakton, but of all the things in Oakton that you could do if someone were dropped in the middle of that town, what's one fun thing that you would suggest, or one piece of knowledge that they should know and should equip themselves with?
If they're horror fans, they should go to Bunnyman Bridge.
Whoa, what's that?
There's this bridge where the Bunny Man comes out. If you say Bunny Man 3 times
what?
At the bridge. So yeah, there's this place in my hometown. A lot of spooky stuff happened.
So it's
a bridge where a bunch of murders happened.
Wow.
I don't know why that would be the first place you should go, but I'm like, what's really cool in my town? I guess that.
That's great. No, I mean, that's, yeah.
Or if you like wings, you should go to the Buffalo Wing Factory.
There's a Buffalo Wing Factory?
I mean, it's just called the Buffalo Wing Factory. It's really good, but it's like funny. Yeah, you can go to this bridge where people were murdered, or you can go to the Buffalo Wing Factory.
Is the Buffalo Wing Factory a real factory, or is it a factory like the Cheesecake Factory?
It's like the Cheesecake Factory.
I'm so happy that another factory exists. Like there's Cheesecake Factory, Buffalo Wing Factory, Old Spaghetti Factory.
Yeah, I've never been to the Old Spaghetti Factory, but it sounds great.
Oh, I love factories.
Tortilla Factory.
Is that a restaurant?
Yeah, there's one of those in Virginia.
Oh my gosh, factories. I love factories. I'm a factory fanatic.
Yeah, Buffalo Wing Factory had the best chicken tenders I've ever had in my life.
Whoa.
They were like this big and batter dipped.
So let's say I'm transported to Oakton, VA now.
Bunnyman Bridge.
I go to the Bunnyman Bridge. What kind of food should I be eating? What kind of food should I pair with that experience?
You should. Now I'm looking up Bunnyman Bridge. It says scariest places on earth. It's between Manassas and Fairfax Station.
Whoa.
I really like to go to the 29 Diner.
Okay. What do I pick up from the 29 Diner on my way to the Hoppy Bunny Bridge? Bunnyman Bridge.
Oh, some eggs cooked in bacon fat.
Oh, yeah.
Some delicious eggs and sausage.
Yeah. Maybe catch a little lamb on the way and, make a coat and then make some sausage.
Oh, yeah.
Or become friends with it. Who knows?
I'm looking at Bunnyman Bridge right now, and it's pretty scary.
How many murders have happened there?
My old driving instructor took me to Bunnyman Bridge, and he said he saw a girl just walking in a white dress. I was like, what? Shut up.
That is very scary.
So basically, in 1970, this guy and his wife They were sitting in a car, and a man dressed in a white suit with long bunny ears appeared. He threw a wood-handled hatchet through the front car window.
Okay, cool.
A lot of chopping, a lot of whoa. Yeah, it's really cool. It's like the bridge is underneath, like it's a little tunnel underneath this little bridge in the woods. It's very it.
So yeah, so as like a dare, kids would go there, I guess, right?
Yeah, we would always go there in high school.
To resurrect the bunny man.
Yeah.
Were you scared of it at every stage, or was there ever a time where you were like, let's go to the Bunnyman Bridge to smoke some weed?
I was always scared.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's scary. Have you looked at photos?
Of the Bunnyman Bridge? No, I just became aware of it 3 minutes ago.
I know, but you're not the one Google searching it.
I'm picturing
Creepy.
I'm picturing like Donnie Darko. Is it like that? Like that's what I'm picturing when someone says Bunnyman Bridge and there's a bunnyman. I'm picturing like a Donnie Darko situation.
Yeah, it's definitely a Donnie Darko situation. And that movie came out when I was in high school, so scary stuff.
And a lot to you. Jeez. Well, I'll make sure to have some lamb, visit the Bunnyman, and maybe churn my own butter in Oakton, VA. Katie, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate your time. And yeah, I can't wait to visit Oakton, VA. Anything else to say before we get out of here?
You're from Florida?
Get the fuck out of here. All right, Floridians, thanks so much for listening. I'll talk to you next time.